No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of Monday Night Raw for June 12th, 2023. Money in the Bank is coming up soon in London, England. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. Much love and appreciation to all of you. Now, let's get right into this recap. We kicked off Raw with the new championship presentation for Rhea Ripley, the SmackDown Women's Champion. Adam Pearce was in the ring, just like on SmackDown with Asuka. Same deal here. We had the new title revealed, and as people were expecting, it was a women's version of the Raw World Heavyweight title. I guess the Raw title, well, the Raw title was the SmackDown title, but that title is now the World Championship, the Women's World Championship. And then on SmackDown, you have the WWE Women's Championship. I know it's all confusing, but the Raw titles for the men and women, they have that new title design, and then the giant logo, the big logo title will be over on SmackDown for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. But Seth Rollins is also world champion, so is there a dispute? I don't know. I'm not going to think about it because I'll just get more confused. And then you have Asuka with that WWE big logo championship. Anyways, Rhea got her title. I'm fine with it. I know some people are not big fans, but I do like the white strap, as Matthew pointed out. Colin likes it better than the Raw and SmackDown women's titles, and I do think that it was a good decision to not have the Raw and SmackDown women's championships anymore. Anyways, Dominic Mysterio came out there and put the title around Rhea's waist, and she was mad because the fans were being disrespectful as Dominic talked. They were booing him like they always do. And then Cody Rhodes arrived. Footage was shown from last week, the little confrontation between Cody and Dominic. And Cody officially challenged Dominic to a match at Money in the Bank, which I guess means there will be no Cody Rhodes in Money in the Bank. Looks like Roman is holding that title to WrestleMania 40. I'm calling it right now. Cody's not in Money in the Bank. I don't see him fighting Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. It looks like it's going to be Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I am calling it officially right now. Roman Reigns will hold that championship until WrestleMania 30. Now, Rhea Ripley accepted the challenge on behalf of Dominic, and then The Miz attacked Cody from behind. Cody got the best of The Miz, but then Dominic took a cheap shot and ran out of the ring, and that led to our first match of the evening, Cody Rhodes versus The Miz, which we did see last year, so whatever. I mean, it's not like they're doing it every single week. But before we get to that match, Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, does Rhea Ripley need Dominic to get heat? The fans really like Rhea Ripley, and for good reason. She's an excellent performer. She has really done a lot to evolve her character. And yeah, having Dominic out there definitely helps. Like, I think she would be a babyface without Judgment Day. Like, she's just gotten to that level where she is really the star right now of the women's division. Michael sent in a $2 super chat, says Maxine Dupree looks fantastic in her new ring gear. I agree with you on that, and we'll get to that in just a few moments, talking about Maxine Dupree. And Michael also sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for the super chats. Says, Brandy to come back and put Mommy in her place? She definitely teased it on Twitter, and there are the rumors now. Will we get some kind of mixed tag team match at some point? Cody and Brandy Rhodes versus Dominic and Rhea Ripley. Would not shock me at this point. And yes, I am saying WrestleMania 40 is when Roman Reigns will hold the title to at least until WrestleMania 40. And depending on who his opponent is, he may hold that sucker beyond WrestleMania 40. We had Cody versus The Miz. Good match here. I think better than their match from last year. Cody had the early momentum, and then Miz got the upper hand, sending Cody into the steel steps, into the announce table. After the commercial break, Cody started to make his comeback, hit the disaster kick. Miz kicked out of it. Miz briefly regained the upper hand, but then Cody delivered the Cody cutter and then scored the victory with the Crossroads. Only takes one to beat the Miz, as it probably should. Yeah, good match here. And Cody builds up momentum going up against Dominic at Money in the Bank. Doesn't really need to build momentum, but it is what it is. We had Becky Lynch versus Chelsea Green. And before the match, Becky cut a promo. She talked about Money in the Bank, talked about how the holder of the briefcase has the power to make the champion scared. She brought up Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark. And of course, right on cue, Zoe Stark comes out there and she cut this promo on Becky, and it was a bit rough. Not too good here. I think she's better off just being silent muscle, kind of like a Kevin Nash role. If they start giving her promos to cut, like it might not be good for her character. And of course, the crowd started doing the what chants at her. She seemed a bit thrown off by that, as people tend to do with the what chants. Becky wanted to fight Zoe, but then Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville showed up, and Sonya's unhappy about being screwed out of her opportunity at Money in the Bank. And this led to Chelsea Green going up against Becky Lynch. Very basic match here. You had Sonya Deville providing a distraction. Chelsea got in a little bit of offense. Zoe Stark was watching the match, sitting on a ladder by the stage. Becky got the win after a few minutes, picked up the victory with Disarm Her. Not much else to say about it. My real takeaway from all of this was Zoe needs to not talk and be more of a silent assassin type. At least for the time being. You know, she just got on Raw, and as I've always said, first impressions are everything, and you really want to establish her as a credible threat and not have people laughing at her. We had Judgment Day backstage, and once again, we're teasing the idea that things might not be all happy in Judgment Day land. Damian Priest said he's going to take care of Matt Riddle and advance to the men's ladder match, but said that he wants to be able to do it alone and requested that everybody stay in the back. We had our match, Riddle versus Damian Priest. Good match here between these two. Riddle started off strong, but then Priest sent Riddle into the announce table. And actually, it was Priest that sent Riddle into the announce. No, Riddle sent Priest into the announce table, and then Priest gained the upper hand. It went back and forth for a bit. Priest attempted the broken arrow, and then both of them ended up down. Priest went for a avalanche razor's edge, but Riddle avoided that, gave Priest a fisherman superplex, which was maybe the highlight of the match. Priest avoided the floating bro and then delivered the razor's edge, picked up the 1-2-3 victory to advance to Money in the Bank. And I'm pretty sure everybody in the Money in the Bank match, we have 6, which as of right now is the final count, but I'm not buying that. I believe all 6 participants were not in it last year. I think it's a totally new field. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Imperium came down after the match, and Priest gave them the go-ahead to beat up Riddle and pick the bones, and that's what they did. They beat him down. No KO and Sami Zayn to make the save. I thought they were going to be out there to help out their buddy Matt Riddle, but I guess they find Matt Riddle to be very annoying. Shout out to Donald, who's watching this on Facebook. Donald, come over to YouTube, youtube.com/AaronRiffNoDQ. We have the live chat here. All the chat activity is on YouTube right now. So head over there. Anybody watching this on Twitter or Facebook, you want to join in the discussion, youtube.com/AaronRiffNoDQ or nodq.com/YouTube. Easy way to get there. We had Cody Rhodes backstage cutting a promo, basically saying that nobody's going to hold him back, even Dominic. Dominic's going to go down at Money in the Bank. We also had a Natalya promo, and I guess she is frustrated again after losing at Night of Champions. She doesn't even know who she is anymore, and then she stormed off. Does anybody really care? I'm not so sure. And then Imperium confronted Owens and Zayn backstage, and they wanted a tag team title match, so that was officially confirmed. The This Guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Says, good review as usual. Got to sleep. Good night, everyone. Good night, This Guy Experience. Thank you for tuning in. And Building Nexus sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Building Nexus. Says, could you see Cody traded to SmackDown and after SummerSlam, he starts a feud with Solo? It may be their only shot at extending his story until WrestleMania. Congrats to Joker. I'm thinking Cody will maybe win the Royal Rumble again. Like, that seems to be the most likely scenario. But as I've said, we don't know what's going to happen with the Bloodline and how hot Solo might get out of all this. I still think there's a decent chance Solo is the guy who ends up dethroning Roman Reigns. It could all depend on how hot this story goes. And if WWE feels Solo is the man and he's going to be the guy for the next 15 years, they might go with him instead of Cody. I mean, who knows at this point? But yeah, you could always do a trade. That's definitely an option too, if you want to get Cody over on SmackDown and not repeat the Royal Rumble win. Speaking of the Bloodline, we had footage shown from SmackDown with all the Bloodline drama. I mean, I get it's all WWE, but do we really need the SmackDown recaps on Raw with guys that are not part of Raw? Just saying. We had Ricochet versus Bronson Reed. Ricochet was taking it right to Bronson. Shinsuke Nakamura came out there and was watching the match. Reed got the upper hand for a bit after Ricochet delivered some offense. Ricochet with a springboard crossbody, springboard moonsault, could not put away the big man. And Reed took Ricochet to the outside and launched him into Nakamura. And this is like interference 101. Whenever there's a guy sitting out there at ringside, 9 times out of 10, he's going to get attacked and then he's going to get involved. Like it happens so often. Kind of lackluster in my opinion. You had Reed going for the tsunami, and of course, Nakamura jumps in and attacks Reed, causing a disqualification. Ricochet was not happy, of course, that he lost the match because of Nakamura. But then Bronson Reed attacked both of them. They managed to fight him off, though, and then both of them gave him a superplex off the top, which got a huge pop from the crowd. They chanted, "Holy shit," which was bleeped out by the USA Network. But yeah, that was a cool spot. I'm not a fan of the DQ and doing that. Like they just rely on that too often. But I did like the little post-match deal with the superplex. That was cool. And then backstage, you had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens chatting, talking about Owens's anger issues. And then we had another backstage segment. We had Ricochet wanting a rematch with Bronson Reed, but as it turns out, Reed already has a match scheduled with Nakamura for next week, which Ricochet was not happy about. And he told Shinsuke he did not need his help, and he warned Shinsuke that if something like that happens again, then there's going to be a problem. And Shinsuke basically said that Ricochet can have what's left of Reed after he gets done with him on next week's edition of Monday Night Raw. We had Finn Balor come into the ring for a promo. He basically called out Seth Rollins. Rollins came out there. Balor said he's been wanting to say these things to Seth Rollins. He's been waiting for the past 7 years. You know, we all remember this was all based off of SummerSlam 2016 when Balor won the Universal title, but he got injured in the match and basically missed, I think, close to a year. Had to relinquish the title. But Balor was struggling to get his promo out because the fans would not stop singing Seth Rollins' theme song. This show was in Wichita, Kansas, so not exactly a top market. It's not New York or Toronto or Chicago, but they were hot for this show. I will give Wichita credit. They brought it for this show, and they were just singing Rollins' song. The bad news is that this segment kind of dragged because of it. Like it just was going on. Like they were milking it for all it was worth. And I believe one of the matches after this had to be cut down because of this. They were just singing the song and Rollins let them do it for a while. Balor kept trying to do his promo and they just kept singing. Rollins eventually had to try to get the promo moving along here, and eventually it did. Balor mentioned all the stuff about SummerSlam and getting hurt, and Rollins responded by saying that one of them's bitter, one of them got better. One of them got bitter, one of them got better. And he made moments that people will never forget. He's the best version of Seth freaking Rollins. He accepted Balor's challenge for Money in the Bank and said that a bitter Finn Balor doesn't stand a chance, but the Balor from 7 years ago might have a shot. Is it going to be that Balor that beat Rollins, or is it going to be the Balor that has been a little bitch for the past 7 years? And it was a great segment. It did drag a bit because of the fan chants, but that also made it unique and memorable. And Rollins is just extremely over as champion right now. And I'm looking forward to this match. I thought it was solid build-up for the pay-per-view or premium live event, whatever you want to call it. We had Raquel versus Shayna Baszler. I wasn't really a fan of this one. Kind of a throwaway match. It was like 3 minutes. Ronda Rousey interfered, distracted Raquel, got on the apron, and Raquel, stupid baby face, went after Ronda, and then Shayna rolled her up. Ronda helped Shayna with the pin while the referee wasn't looking, and Shayna Baszler got the win. Not much else to say about it. Stupid baby face. This kind of hurt Raquel, in my opinion, made her look like an idiot. And they were doing pretty good with her, but now it feels like she has no direction. And this match certainly did not help. Like there was nobody else on the roster they could have fed to Shayna. I just don't get it. We had Finn Balor backstage talking to JD Madonna, whatever his name is. I think I botched it 3 times, but whatever. I still don't know his name. Like, I'm not a fan of the name, so I'm just going to call him JDM. Balor was talking to him, and it kind of feels like maybe Priest is going to go babyface and JDM joins up with Judgment Day. Balor and Priest were talking, and Balor was concerned that maybe Damian Priest would cash in on him if he won the Money in the Bank ladder match. And Priest assured him that he would never do that he would not cash in on Balor if Balor won the title and Priest won Money in the Bank. Priest just gave Balor a little bit of a pep talk and told him to finish things, end this, because Rollins is causing all these problems. We had an announcement, well, basically just previews for next week, and it was confirmed that Logan Paul will be back next week. And as I mentioned earlier, I am not convinced it's a 6-man Money in the Bank ladder match. I still think until that match is over that Logan Paul is going to show up and possibly win it. But we'll talk about predictions pretty soon. We'll see if he gets added before the pay-per-view. I hope if he's in it, I hope they announce it in advance. I hate when they have the 6 people, let's just say 6 people, when they have the match set and then somebody comes out at the end to win the match. Like, I'm not a fan of that. They've done that way too many times. If Logan Paul's in it, just announce him next week, please. Don't have him come out there as a surprise at the end to steal the win. Like that, I get it. It builds him up as a heel, but have him enter beforehand, please. D. Martin 5th sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Says, so Raw has the world title names and SmackDown has the WWE undisputed title names. Yeah, pretty much that's what it is. Although I don't understand the undisputed part for the SmackDown titles, but maybe they'll change that. They want to make sure they sell all their replicas, and once those are sold out, they'll drop the undisputed part. I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of as to why they're still calling them undisputed. Seth Rollins did a little backstage promo and revealed that he's going to have another open challenge on next week's Raw. We'll see who answers that. Maybe this time they'll actually wait until Raw and have it be a surprise instead of just announcing the guy on social media. We had our main event of the evening, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defending their championships against Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. When are we going to get the new titles for the tag team division? They got the 2 sets of titles out there. One would think that they're going to change that at some point. I mean, that's going to be next, right? One would assume. Anyways, this was a really good main event here. I very much enjoyed this match. They got a lot of time for a TV main event. Owens and Zayn had the early momentum, but then, of course, Gunther took control, gave Sami Zayn a big boot, and then gave one to Kevin Owens on top of that. And Gunther and Kaiser had the upper hand for a while. Eventually, Owens got a hot tag, came off with the swanton to Gunther, but Gunther kicked out. Gunther blocked a stunner attempt. Then Kevin Owens tagged out to Sami Zayn. Ludwig Kaiser was back in there. Gunther tried to chop Sami Zayn on the outside, but missed and hit the ring post, which was pretty brutal. But then back in the ring, Gunther tagged back in and nailed Zayn with the lariat. Zayn kicked out of that. Gunther and Kaiser took down Zayn with the Imperium Bomb, but Owens was able to break up the pin at the last second. Crowd did the "This is awesome" chant for this. And then Matt Riddle came down to try and get some payback. Officials were out there. Gunther kicked Matt Riddle, but then Owens gave Gunther a DDT on the floor. And then Sami Zayn hit the Blue Thunder Bomb on Ludwig Kaiser and got the 1-2-3 victory. I'm serious. I'm not joking this time. Sami Zayn won with the Blue Thunder Bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, hell has frozen over. It's a new day. Yes, it is. Sami Zayn wins with the Blue Thunder Bomb. I was in complete shock, although not really, because it was 10:58. It was the end of the show, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he's winning with this. And sure enough, he did. History has been made, as Gorilla Monsoon might say. Sami Zayn picks up a win with the Blue Thunder Bomb. So yeah, I enjoyed the ending. I'm glad he finally won. I can finally shut up about it now for a while. Overall, pretty solid Raw. I had a few issues, a few matches, like the Raquel match, wasn't a big fan of. But all in all, I did think it was a good Raw, solid build up for Money in the Bank, and I'm going to give it a B. Good Raw. Overall, I would recommend it. Hot crowd in Wichita, Kansas. Shout out to them for bringing the energy. Endeavor Representative sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Says, I tried to schedule my root canal and prostate exam for 8 p.m. tonight. I couldn't and was stuck watching Raw, which is bad because my report isn't good. Well, I guess you and I have different opinions this week, because I did think Raw was a good show overall. And Michael sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Michael. Says, didn't you say free merch if he ever won with it? I don't remember that, but if I did, somebody send me the soundbite and maybe I'll have to make that happen. Maybe we'll have to do a giveaway, but I don't remember saying it. You're going to have to show me proof of that I said that. And if I did, I will live up to what I said. And yes, they should play the celebration song for Sami Zayn winning with the Blue Thunder Bomb. Anyways, guys, that was Raw this week. Definitely check out the main event and the Rollins Balor promo if you're going to watch anything from Raw, and the Rhea Ripley stuff at the beginning. All that was really good. And that's it. I appreciate everybody's viewership and support. Please continue to follow NoDQ.com for the latest wrestling news and rumors, opinions, so on and so forth. And subscribe to this channel. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, head over to youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ or NoDQ.com/YouTube, which directs you right to the channel. Subscribe, tell a friend, spread the word, and remember, say yes to NoDQ.com. And I will see you all next time.